Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. Yes, I've been away for a couple of well, actually over the weekend, and been busy with the Grand Prix, and obviously the last couple of days been recovering from that Grand Prix, right? Because it was absolutely mental. But yeah, we are back with another transfer stream, and I've got Manny in here for us. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing good, my good mate, and I hope you're doing well. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, doing not too bad at all. So we're going to go into these transfer stories in a little more detail as we go on. So, and they're mainly from Monday, but we're also going to see how they develop over time. And once we've gone over the main talking points, we'll drop the link in as well so anyone can have their say on it. But the big news coming from Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo has asked to leave the club this summer. Right? The 37-year-old says he wants, as much as he loves the club, he doesn't feel he can compete for major honours and trophies with the club in his what's left of his career. So, hence why he's requesting a move from Man United itself. What do you make of this, Manny? Is this something that Ronaldo needs to do, or is it something that I mean, how's it going to affect Man United as well?
I'm going to say, in response to the second part of your question, it is the best thing that Manchester United can do. Because there's always going to be a bit of an issue when you have these players who've become such big icons over so many years, and they come back and they have so much of an influence on the team that sometimes you get the feeling that they're smothering the team in a way, if that makes sense. I mean, it happened with the women's cricket team not too long ago when then captain Charlotte Edwards was, unceremoniously dropped when she was a few runs away from getting the first woman to score 6,000 runs in one-day internationals for England. She was a legend of the game, but the then coach made it very clear that she didn't want to have her staying on and effectively smothering the development of a new team. And there was always going to be this feeling that with Ronaldo coming back, he would either be a positive influence on some of the youngsters in the team who would develop and they would, build. It would be built nicely, or it would be a case where he would effectively choke development. And I think as much as he's tried, he was never really able to thrive in that team when everything would be expected to be built around him. The same issue was there with Juventus, I believe, when he was there. Gigi Buffon made that statement that when he came in, the team had to change its DNA. I think the best years of his career were really at Real Madrid, where, as great as he was just another Galactico, and it wasn't really, necessarily so much built around him in a way. So it's the best thing for the club. If he's really serious about wanting to, challenge for more honours than at his age, maybe it's something to do. But maybe it sounds a bit facetious because you take a look at what he's achieved at club level. His achievements are unparalleled in many ways, and it's really only at international level where, to some extent, it's been slightly unfulfilled. I mean, he does have a Nations League, he does have the Euro, albeit missing the final, but he wants a World Cup, and maybe it's for publicity. I get the feeling that he might just, want to start winding down a little bit. If he wants to leave, he can leave, but the most important thing is it's the best decision for the club. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Do you agree, Chris Nix? I'm hoping I've said that right. If not, I do apologise. But do you agree with him that he's damaged the team chemistry at all at Man United?
I'd say yes to an extent, and I'd probably have to go along with yes, because I did talk about how the same issue was there at Juventus.
You
yes,
sure? Because
it might have been the case. I wouldn't say damaged per se, but it sort of smothered it. That was the word I was looking for. Smothered it.
Yeah, because for me, I think there were problems already there at the club anyway. The structure, the board, the way they operate was always causing problems with the on the pitch, and it was filtering down onto the pitch. The problems that are upstairs, right? So I feel that the problem they had at the start of the season with Ollie, you can't really put that. That's not down on Ronaldo. Right, to be honest, Ronaldo was bailing him out in the Champions League while that was going on. So that's mainly to do with probably just Ollie not having the respect from the players, and then what also damaged the team. The thing that damaged the team chemistry for me was Radnick when he came in, and I supported the fact that Radnick might come in, especially if he's going to become a technical director. Now we find
Stephen,
out they brought him in.
I'm going to have to pop off for a bit, but I'll be back in about a minute or so. Could you excuse me,
Yeah,
please,
yeah,
mate?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries, mate. No worries. I'll drop him backstage for now. But yeah, what I see is that Radnick, like, if he had stayed, and now we found out he's actually like he was there just to be a temporary manager when you could have gone and got Ten Hag anyway, right? So that just didn't make any sense. But while he was there, he first came out. I remember the first few interviews he did, and once he had an idea of what the team is about, he said quite basically these players aren't pulling their weight. They ain't pulling their weight. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Right? They're not good enough. And I think that also destroyed the team chemistry completely because basically the players down tools on Radnick because he said that for me that it was like, well, if we're not good enough, right? If we're not good enough, then why should we play for you? You know what I mean? So for me, it's kind of down to also Ragnick as well because once you tell a squad from literally the first minute you get in the door that the squad's not good enough, these players aren't good enough, they're not pulling their weight. That's going to destroy the team chemistry completely because all of a sudden they're like, well, why should we play for you then?
Absolutely, and I was hearing everything you said about Rangnick. I mean, from where I was, and you're right. I mean, I know Germans are renowned for being very honest people, but when you come into a club like Manchester United, you can't just take it for granted that all of those guys are serious professionals, hardened professionals who will take criticism. No, most of them are young players who are trying to, express themselves, and they are. I mean, I know there's a lot of criticism about the fact that they're not really performing to their potential, but it's not for want of trying. It's just that sometimes, as you mentioned, there can be some other factors coming in. You mentioned the board, you mentioned the manager in question, and those things come in. So if that's the impression that Rangnick made, I mean, he definitely was asking for a lot of trouble.
Yeah, when you do it in the middle of public,
you have to improve chemistry by making that incendiary statement first up.
Yeah, when you do that in the public eye, like it's not going to help at all. So, but yeah, like but I do agree with you. I think Ronaldo's. I wasn't sure over the signing of him, but let's just say it reminds me of and I'm going to use an F1 term here. Sorry, I'm going to use an F1 example. It's kind of like when Schumacher came back for his second stint in F1. It didn't work. It didn't work. He got nowhere near to his level because he was much older. B, like the team wasn't competing at that level. So and wasn't funding at that level at that time. Mercedes weren't being funded that much, or it wasn't a big thing. So though he did vital work to help the team, but into what it become, but it's kind of like the same with Ronaldo. Ronaldo his time was probably best before the time he had at the club was his best time, and I don't think rejoining the club really sort of helped in any sort of way. And if he wants to go on a major honours, like I don't know where he could go. To be honest, he's been to Italy, he's been to Spain. I mean, I'm thinking because Bayern Munich are looking for a striker. Will they consider getting him for a year or two? I don't know what club will take him for a year or two. That's the big thing.
Here's the thing. If Ronaldo is smart, he will avoid going to a Premier League rival and making the mistake that Carlos Tevez did. So if he moves to Chelsea, mind you, there will be hell to pay. Let me assure you of
Oh,
that.
mate, if that happens, there'll be scenes. There
Oh
will be
yeah,
scenes. But
yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not like when Mark Hughes moved to Chelsea because Ferguson sort of sold him. I think this is going to be very
yeah,
different. And as for
um,
Bayern Munich, that could be a good fit because they've gotten
yeah,
Lewandowski's gone, so it would be a like-for-like replacement. That would be the
yeah,
best option.
yeah. Man United, especially if like Bayern Munich can't find a long term replacement as well. Man United, obviously, we know they've signed Malaysia, and now they've seemed to agree in principle for Christian Eriksen to join Man United, um, which I think is a good move. To be honest, I think he's really proved himself to be a quality midfielder at Brentford. Sorry, I'll try and get it right.
Yeah, you can.
So yeah, I do you, do you- I mean do you, do you see Ericsson being a very key signing for them?
This is the same Christian Eriksen who had his heart issues at Euro 2020 or 21, whatever. And a lot of
It's
us
an
thought
amazing
that,
comeback.
oh, you bet, you bet, you bet. And a lot of us thought that, he would never be able to operate at that sort of a level again, especially when Inter Milan said, arrivederci, grazie mille, but we have to let you go. So for him to come back come to Brentford and sort of get his bearings back, if you will, was amazing. My biggest issue is, Manchester United are going to have to use him really well because although he is in theory a terrific replacement for Juan Mata, who has left, I don't know if he's going to retire, I don't know, but he would be a
Yeah,
perfect replacement. But to expect him to be able to operate at such a high speed, let's bear in mind he now has a defibrillator in his chest, I think,
I
and
think it's
so he
yeah
is going to have to
some
make sure that his minutes and his activity are monitored very carefully, I would say. And if the club is able to accommodate a player who might have been forced to sort of lessen his pace a little bit, someone who might not really be that same up and atom type he used to be, then it could move very well. But I think his minutes are going to have to be regulated because let's not forget he will also be playing in Europe. Of course, not the Champions League or Europa League, but in Europe nonetheless. And he will get more games, of course, with Manchester United. I think Denmark have qualified for the World Cup, if I'm not wrong, so he might be there. I'm not too sure.
um what did it say that again? I'm just sorry, I was just
Yeah,
looking
I
for
don't know if
something.
Denmark have qualified for the World Cup. I don't know if they're going to be. I think.
I don't think so. I don't think they have. I'd have to check that. Um, I'd have to check that. If someone could check that for us, that'd be great. Uh, World Cup 2022 teams. Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
they will be in the. They are. They are. They will be in the squad. They will be in the
they'll,
tournament.
they will be in the tournament. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, that's
They're in
good.
Group D with Australia and France and Tunisia.
Yeah.
So that's going to be quite interesting. I would predict Denmark and France to qualify
I
easily
think
enough,
I
although
think Man
Australia.
United will they will bear that in mind. Also, what I was just talking, if anyone's got any questions, please do put them in the chat. Like Joanne's done one here. If we haven't got to them immediately, we will get back to them and try and go through every single question that we can. So obviously, we just want to get the main headlines out, and then we'll go straight to questions. So yeah, so make sure you just keep putting them in. And yeah, so um, speak one more thing about Man United, and it's also to do with Arsenal as well. Both Man United appears that Man United and Arsenal have made offers for Lisandro Martinez, and it's the feeling I got is down to Martinez to choose which club he will want to go to. Does he want to go to a club that's in the middle of a rebuild, like with a new manager, with an uncertain future at this stage, or does he want to join a club with a manager that's been here for 3 years, still ain't got top four, and has got no sort of idea how to get it, like, and is pretty much one of the worst managers ever seen at Arsenal Football Club. Like,
I've actually sort of got a bit of a theory about this, and it's a bit of a joke. Let's not forget that Lisandro Martinez, like Lautaro and Emiliano, are Argentinian. And they've also got the same surname. So my theory is that given how Arteta throws out Emiliano after the FA Cup and Community Shield win, he's probably told Lautaro and Lisandro, stay away from Arsenal as far as you can. And another theory going around is that with Lisandro having worked with Ten Hag at Ajax, the natural tendency will probably be to try to work with him. And yes, United will be in the Europa League, the Conference League rather, so it's a tier below the Europa League, but they've still got a bigger profile. And the inference here is that with that bigger profile and with a much more elite, with a much better manager, at least tactically, United will be on the way up, and they are strengthening well. They're more active in the transfer market than we are, so Lisandro will end up going to Old Trafford. Could we get Lisandro? That would be really good. There will be, if we could, there would be some wonderful competition between him and Saliba. Ben White will hopefully, from my lips to God's ears, be pushed down the pecking order because he isn't good enough. And if we can say goodbye to Rob Holding, hallelujah. With his versatility, Lisandro would be an asset. But, it was discussed earlier. I would say that United would be the more likely destination for him. And it would his moving there would keep Maguire on his toes for sure. Maguire definitely needs competition.
He needs competition right now, to be fair. So yeah, both of them need the defender badly. So I think Man United probably need him more than we do, to be fair. But still, I'm not saying that we don't need a defender. We do need one. But I just feel compared to some of the other areas we've got to deal with, it's not a massive priority. So, but yeah. Chelsea, let's have a look at what else we got. So, yeah, Brentford. Hickey was supposed to, who was an Arsenal target, has now joined Brentford for £14 million. So that's now Hickey, Bissouma. Who else? Who else have we missed out on? Bissouma. Tillemans has gone quiet. Who else is missed out on? I can't think of his name now. Jesus.
Rafinha's gone to Barcelona.
Rafinha. Yeah. So that's 4 players we've missed out on that could easily strengthen our squad. Easily.
Yeah. The sad thing about Hickey, who, hearing this news makes me feel sicky, pun intended, is that he'd also be really good competition. Given his status, given his position as a wing back, he'd really support Tomiyasu quite well. The understanding that he would have with Kieran Tierney, given that they're both Scots, would be wonderful. Although given Tierney's injury, I don't think he and Hickey have played together. Hickey's definitely a lad with potential. He's played a few seasons in Serie A and has developed his game well. So Brentford have made a pretty good capture of him. And it just goes to show again, the reason why I say we'll feel sicky about not getting Hickey is because we've once again dawdled. It's not for nothing that they say that shy children don't get sweets. If you see something, you've got to go for it and make your move. And yet our hesitancy will always be our downfall.
Oh, mate, that I've already heard the excuse. Do you know what the excuses are? We weren't really interested in. We weren't really that interested in. That'll be the next excuse that comes out of the mouth. That'll be the next thing that comes out of the Arteta in cauldron. We weren't interested. By the way, if trust me, if Arsenal are watching this, Edu, right? Honestly, go flip a burgers on the beach and fucking stay there, right? Go flip your burgers and fucking smoke your fucking Cuban cigars, right, on a beach. Don't come anywhere near my fucking club because you have got no idea about how to make a transfer and actually get a transfer, right? You got to show balls, right? You got to be aggressive. You got to be arrogant at times, right? You have got none of that, right? And you know what's best for this club. Yeah, whatever, mate. Why? Because you played for it once. Well done. So did Arteta, and he ain't very good, is he? Like, you and Arteta, why don't you just go on a beach, flip your burgers, have your cigars, right? Drink your rum and coke, whatever you want to call it is, or whatever you want to drink, right? And fucking stay there. Stay there, right? Moving on.
Those are the feather
uh,
flying together. Edu and Arteta.
oh no. Burnley's also Burnley's James Tarkowski joins Everton on a free transfer. So Everton have already brought in 2 players already, which is good news for them. And they need to meet signings, to be honest. After what happened last season, they can't afford to happen it again. So Tarkowski's a decent signing for us there.
He
I
is.
think I think he'll do decently over there. And obviously Chelsea still trying to get on to Sterling. Did you say Rafinha's gone to Barcelona now?
I believe that is the inference, and he was apparently supposed to go to Chelsea, and then he ended up deciding in the end that Barcelona is
Because I
where he
looked
wants
like
to
it was
go.
a done deal. I swear it was a done deal, wasn't it?
Barcelona is interesting because I believe I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but it is going to have something to do with the salary issue of the players. I think we might talk about that later. It's rather
Yeah.
silly how I mean, we've heard a lot of stories about Rafinha being a bit of a miscreant in the dressing room and how maybe we would be better off not really signing him. I mean, potentially shelling about 70 million quid on that guy, no matter how good he is, would have been really, really silly money. And compare it, and especially given how much we've already spent, it's close to 100 million quid in this window alone. It probably would have been money down the drain, but still, we're just not really aggressive enough, and we don't even know. It's as if we don't know how to spend money anymore. After Ozil, everything's just gone downhill. Really.
Oh mate, yeah. Just don't mention that guy's name, honestly, please. He's just. I've got to show you this quick video. This is quality. Someone put up. Barcelona trying to agree a fee for Rafinha.
Morning. How much is this? 149, sir.
I've got 50p. Fuck you, bastard.
How
much is this? 50p.
Oh boy.
No, I'm sorry. That could be Arsenal, isn't it? That be Arsenal. That's their do in a nutshell. I've only got 45 mil. I've only got 40. I know I can give you 60, but I've only got 45. I just looked up Rafinha and that's what came up. This is like on Twitter. I don't know who's done that, but that guy deserves an award for like the best tweet ever.
Yeah, but there's a reason why they call that a meme, mate. And we know that in real life it doesn't happen. You've got CCTV cameras. The police are going to be on him. He'll be in the nick not too long afterwards.
Yeah, that guy's getting nicked afterwards.
You bet.
Barca still can't sign it. Players' immigration issues will take some time. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. Yeah, so Sandro could play backup to Ian Partey. That's an important player for him. The Edu, the type of guy who puts a salad on a barbecue. Mate, I don't care. Just like make sure he's got a barbecue and a beach somewhere. And he's not anywhere near my club. Like, I don't care. Like, you're supposed to be doing transfers in January and you're sitting on a beach. Get out of here. Like, Everton spent $500 million went backwards. That's a good point. I'm surprised Man City are letting Sterling leave. Yeah, especially since you've let Jesus go as well. That's a bit surprise. But to be fair, if they don't need him, then they don't need him. Like, to be honest, I think they're just streamlining their squad to try and just win the Champions League. They're desperate to win it.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. Hey, trust me. That at Arsenal, we know that a lot.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Suarez springs to mind. What's the difference between Arsenal and... Oh, fuck.
I think he means rabies.
Yeah, yeah. Let's leave that on there, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If anyone does want to come on, feel free to. Feel free to. So it's apart from really like all that. There's not much. That's going on. I mean, we'll talk. Like, we'll talk about Ronaldo earlier, but honestly, where would you think he'll go if he really wants to try and still challenge for top honours? Where do you think possibly he'll go? Because for
The
me,
only,
the
the
only
only
gap I
feasible
see is Bayern Munich.
Yeah, the only feasible option will be Bayern Munich because, of course, regardless of the competition from other teams in the Bundesliga, they're always nailed on to win the league, especially with the squad they have. With Chelsea, the way they sort of went backwards a bit last season, you could say that, yes, there'll be a little bit of a rebuilding going on. Some of their players who are now a bit long in the tooth will be asked to leave. I mean, if Cesar Azpilicueta hasn't been asked to leave yet, it would be a big surprise because clearly that fellow is, he's been a great servant, legend, but I think he's, almost done his dash, as has N'Golo Kante. So there will be some rebuilding, and there will be a lot of teething issues. I think Bayern Munich would be the best thing for him. And if Ronaldo really loves the club, he would never set foot in Stamford Bridge. That would be the death of him. Let me tell you now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's not gonna Chelsea is struggling to compete with Liverpool and Man City anyway. It makes if he wants to challenge for the Premier League and the Champions League, right? And to be honest, we all knew if Man United get top four, that I knew if I had this feeling if Man United get top four, Ronaldo would have to leave, right? Because it's Champions League, and I think it affects him financially as well. But in terms of his sponsors, but if he went to Chelsea, they're struggling to compete with Liverpool, Man City anyway. If you saw it last season, they were nowhere near. They were no more near us than they were Man City and Liverpool. So, it would be too big of a gamble to go there and expect to try and win a title. Right? Plus, then you've got all the Man United fans hating your fucking guts.
Agreed.
Though to be fair though, I think what he's done in the past for the club, I don't think he'd get that level of hate compared to some players. But there'll probably be a residual hate. But
no, mate. Listen, you got to remember the fans are really tribal. Yeah, Carlos Tevez also won the Champions League with United, and he was, of course, Ronaldo's teammate. I mentioned him earlier. When he moved to Manchester City, believe me, he became persona non grata. And Tevez knew that he would be stirring the pot with that move. So I would say, in some ways, he deserved a lot of the criticism.
Do you know what? And I ask you this, one that really springs to mind, and I don't know. Man United fans might hate him, Liverpool fans might hate him, right? The one that really gets me is Michael Owen.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem to get that level of hate from both Liverpool and Man United for me.
No, I'll tell you why. Because when he joined United, he was pretty much, his career had been affected by injuries. And we all knew that his joining Manchester United was an attempt to get some good quality first-team action and try and get into the England squad for the 2010 World Cup. And there will be a section of Liverpool fans who don't really like him that much anymore, given the circumstances of his move to Real Madrid. But I think, time heals wounds, and maybe, in those circumstances, they'd be willing to forgive him. Paul Ince did get a lot of hatred when he moved from Manchester United to Liverpool. You might remember Ferguson's big-time Charlie rant at him. So maybe it varies given the circumstances, and I think as I said, with when Owen moved to Manchester United, he was sort of, trying to get back to his former self, but he was at the end of near the end of his career. You remember that he actually had to put out a brochure for clubs who might be interested in him. Such was his state, really. I think that was when he left Newcastle, if I'm not wrong. So, yeah, that was the state of it, and that's why I think he doesn't really get that much in terms of hate. And he shouldn't get any hate because, I mean, at his best, he was outstanding. I loved him for England in the '98 World Cup. I thought he was amazing for Liverpool under Houllier. And, obviously the Madrid and Newcastle moves didn't work out too well, but he did really well for United, given the opportunities he had. Such a shame that, injuries,
Did he
took their...
leave Liverpool by 2005?
He left at the end of the 2004 season, and the season after he left, Liverpool won the Champions League.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I don't remember him winning the Champions League with them. But rumors are Chelsea could go for. They could go for him. I doubt Chelsea. Cristiano Ronaldo will not go there. I'll be gobsmacked if he goes there. Right, he would not. I don't think he would do that to Man United. To be fair,
No.
if he's going anywhere, he's going abroad. Right, and it'll go to. I think it'll go to either France or Germany because he's already beaten.
France, the only option is PSG. A reunion.
Or go back to Portugal.
That could make some
sense. He could go back to Portugal and play for. Where did he originally come from? Is he from Sporting Lisbon? He could go back to Sporting Lisbon, right? So then you see many great players do that in the past. So that could be an option as well.
Just one final sentence about him. The reason why it's going to be difficult for him is because if you take a look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who's in his 40s but still doing well, Ibrahimovic has basically been used more or less, either off the bench or starting in a few games. And he's never had any qualms about, being rotated. If you will. But Ibrahimovic, like Ronaldo, has kept himself exceptionally fit. You should see some of the videos that Ibra has done about his regarding his workout routines. That bloke is ripped, and he's kept himself in such good shape. But he's been willing to accept more of a lesser role. I don't see Ronaldo accepting that much of a lesser role, and that might have something to do with the level of vanity he has. It's not a bad thing, mind you, because some of the greatest stars have had a level of vanity about them. But I just don't.
You've been told all your time that you're the best in the world. You don't really want to start admitting that you haven't got this. You haven't got the pace or the stamina to compete at that level.
Agreed, but the problem is, as Alex Ferguson said, nobody is Peter Pan. Nobody stays young forever. Roy Keane found that out at his expense. And even with Ryan Giggs lasting as long as he did, he was a different sort of player, and he was also, not used very often as he got older, a different type of player. So with Ronaldo, he might need to go somewhere where he still will be the main man, and that will be to his detriment, because no matter how fit he is, age will take its toll on you. Mark my words.
Someone's just put an interesting comment in here. The hatred, depending on your age bracket, that's a good point. Remember, not going to Liverpool, that's a good point. Ronaldo regrets joining Man City, in my opinion. I don't think he was ever going to Man City, to be honest, mate. I don't think he was ever going there. Any truth in Paqueta? I haven't heard anything about Paqueta. So I'm going to take it from like the Sun or Football London. So do take this as a pinch of salt. Apparently he's a 24-year-old Brazilian, so obviously in our fucking range. Cause it can't be any older than 25, can it? Jesus. 34 Arsenal apparently are making a £34 million bid made. Paqueta talks and Milinkovic-Savic offer as well. So let's have a look. Stuff about Tielemans' latest is Arsenal still linked. Right, Paqueta said despite interest from top clubs such as Arsenal, he's made it clear that he will remain at Lyon next season. He's snubbed us already, so he's not that stupid.
Thank goodness he's not. Another one who snubbed us is Alvaro Morata. Now, a lot of people have been giving him a lot of hate, saying he isn't good enough. The ironic thing is that he and Jesus, who signed for us for 46 million quid, are very similar sort of players. sort of second strikers who play on the wing. They can also hold the ball up really well.
Bequeta's even snubbed. Hang on, sorry, just want to say Bequeta's even snubbed Man City apparently.
Wow.
He's reportedly snubbed. And they take it. He's from the Sun, to take a bit of a pinch of salt. Reportedly snubbed the chance to join Arsenal, Tottenham, and Manchester City.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
Well, because he wants to do first team football, and he's not guaranteed to get that at Man City, is he? Henry rates him. Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I mean, if Henry rates him, then there must be something about him. I don't obviously. I can't make if I don't know a player, I haven't seen a player play. I've only maybe watched a compilation. I'm not going to make a full opinion on him because
we're not going to make the mistake that people have made with Vieira, right? A few YouTube clips. We make the decision.
No, we ain't that stupid.
No.
Like, I mean, we've had that so many times with people as well. Like, all people saying he's world class, and they've watched 2 compilation clips, and all of a sudden he's world class, right? Someone should have told Ronaldo that you just need to watch 2 compilation clips, and apparently you'd be world class, mate. Right? Didn't need to put all the win all the trophies and the honours and like play the brilliant football. All you had to do is watch compilations. Ha!
Like social media, YouTube is just a highlights reel.
Yeah, but if you look at it, Ronaldo, if he was coming up for the ranks today, everyone says he's world class by the compilation clips because of the amount of skills he does. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah, like I said, if Henry rates him, great, but I can't make that decision yet until I've seen him. But again, if someone like Henry rates him, then he's got to have something about him, especially if he's getting offered to Man City.
Agreed. But then he snubbed us. Morata snubbed us. We could have got him for 26 million. And I know a lot of people are giving him hate, but then when he gives us hate, it's like the whole cycle all over again. If you snub us, the fan base says, well, we don't want you anyway.
I don't think Morata would have been good enough, to be fair.
Good professional, but maybe the league would have been too quick for him.
Yeah. Going down the Leeds route. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I've missed this.
Yeah.
I've missed this. But so if you haven't seen it already, then you're hearing it. If you haven't heard it already, then you're hearing it here first. Right, breaking news. Man City complete the signing of Calvin Phillips.
Already heard it.
Fucking hell! Why? For 45 mil?
We spent that much money on Jesus, for crying out loud.
Oh my god, we're just giving them the money!
Oh my goodness.
We've given them the money to pay for fucking Phillips, someone that could do a job in our midfield. Someone that we should be targeting. That's not pursuing Mark Phillips. Tillemans has gone quiet, right? Fucking Rafinha, right? That fucking Paqueta guy. That's not nearly 6 players. I'm running out fucking fingers. That we've either snubbed on, or we just decide we're not going to do anything. So our opposition go and take the spoils. We're going to miss out on Martinez. That'll be 7. 7 players. 7.
And you know something?
Not 2, 7. And what's the excuse? Oh, we're not really interested in him. Oh, he's shit. That's the next thing. You hear it. You hear it all over Twitter. Calvin Phillips. You'll get the stats up, and he'll say Calvin Phillips is shit. He's this. He's
Stupid. Anyone who's seen who saw Euro 20, who watched the matches in Euro 2021.
He was better than fucking Declan Rice in that Euros.
Agreed. He and Rice were together. They were done.
No,
Phillips
but
was the one
Manny,
who was
when
doing
they support England, they're all jumping up and down bandwagon saying, "Yeah, Calvin Phillips, he's this, he's that, he's mustard." Right, all the freaking talk, right, say giving all the praise. But as soon as something like this happens, he's saying he's shit. He weren't good enough. He weren't going to be good enough for Arsenal. Well, if he ain't good enough for Arsenal, why the fuck are Man City buying him? If he's so crap, why are Man City spent 45 million on him? Answer it. Someone answer me, please. You haven't got an answer. Right? So stop Arteta your bloody excuses. Right? Your bullshit excuses. If Rafinha goes to Barcelona, who are better than us, if Calvin Phillips goes to Man City, who are 10 times better than us, and walk us every fucking season when we play them, right? If Tillemans is good enough for Leicester City, right? And hopefully he can come back, right? If Basuma is good enough to go in Conte's plans for Spurs, they're obviously not shit, are they? Are they? But typical Arsenal, and typical Arsenal fans will sit there all today and go, "We weren't that interested in Calvin Phillips anyway. He don't that good." Right? They'll get out some stats and compare him to fucking. They'll pick up the one or two stats that Xhaka's got more of Calvin Phillips on. Though don't forget, Calvin Phillips has had to play for a lesser squad. He's had to play for Leeds, who had to fight for survival this season. Bear that in mind, right? They don't want to bear that in mind. They just compare it like you've got, like, because the stats can be affected depending on what team you're playing in. If you're playing a really shit team, your stats might not be as good, even though you're a really good player, compared to someone who's playing in a really good team, even though they're shit, right? So they'll probably find the one, but they don't care. They'll find the one or two stats, right, that beats how do I put it? They'll find the one or two stats that beats him, right? And then what happens is that they'll use that as saying, "Oh, he's not good. Oh, he's no good. He's shit." Not taking into fact the context. They'll just use that as an excuse. Like I said, if he is not good enough if he's apparently not good enough for Arsenal, why are Manchester City buying Calvin Phillips for £45 million if he's not good enough for Arsenal? I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. Excuses. Right. And I'm up to here with excuses, honestly. When are people going to take responsibility? Sorry. There you go. Let's see what you're saying. Yeah, but you could actually be something at Arsenal. No worries, mate. Pep knows how to take the piss. Yeah. When he sits there saying, "Yeah, well, I trust in Arteta." Of course you do, because you get a win average every fucking week. Every fucking season, don't you? Because you're obviously going to trust Arteta. Captain Hector. Oh my god, we're naming Bellerin captain. This club's dead. It's finished. We're giving the fashion merchant the captaincy armband. The one that tells us Right, to not profit off a failure. Sorry, I might want to make some money for a charity, mate. Right, what do you do every fucking season? You fail to do anything, don't you? But you get paid every week. So you're telling fans or YouTubers like us to not profit off a failure, right? So why is it if you're saying you can't profit off a failure to as us fans, why are you getting paid every week? Because you fail to get top four every fucking year. You fail to win us any trophies. You fail to win the title. You fail. You'll fail. So why don't you hand your freaking money in? Oh no, you wouldn't do that, would you? No, no. But you're happy to tell us to stop doing what we're doing because we're profiting off a failure. Well, so are you, mate. Right? Mate, want to take a look in the mirror. Right? Honestly, fuck me. Oh, I'm so done. Like, and I'm trying to stop the swearing, Jesus. But this club finds some way to do it. Get me to that point. It's been paid for, just prone to sudden shorts. Yeah. Sometimes it happens. It happens. Right. To be fair, though, Calvin Phillips is good, although there's better out there. I'd rather go after either Grealish or Madison. We're not getting Madison. If we can't get fucking Calvin Phillips, we're not getting Tillemans. I'm telling you now, we're not getting Tillemans. We're not getting Tillemans. We're not getting definitely not getting Rafinha now. Right. We're not getting Martinez. Right. I'm telling you, they've already made the story. We've got enough already. We've got Fabio Vieira in the midfield. It's all good. Saliba's back on loan, so we don't need another defender. Right? That's the spin they're gonna spin it. And most of these Arteta or most of these fans that sit there and listen to this bullshit every season, they're gonna go, "That's fine. We're good. We're all rosy. Our squad's thin, but okay. You manage. We'll just have to take time. Right? It's got to take time. Yeah. Right." And then they'll still go to games, still buy the merch, still do this, still do that, and then they sit there and moan that nothing's improving. Or it's getting worse. I'm telling you, we're going to need every religion possible next season, I'm telling you. Because we've got no spine in our midfield. We've got no leadership. We've got no depth in our squad. And in this season, with the World Cup in December, the one thing you're going to need, squad depth. Otherwise, we might as well just go home. Right? Or we might as well just go home. It's washed up. It is washed up, Joanne. Big up. Bellerin shouldn't even be here. Fuck. Yeah! He shouldn't even be there! It just shows how... Can't use words. It's just like... Fucking hell. I'm running out of words. My honest to God, I'm actually just going to check Romano's status is in a minute. Romano's tweet, because that's just shut me over the edge. Right, Romano, Bergwijn to Ajax. Bergwijn to Ajax for 30 mil. Why are we looking at that? That's an option. I'd have a look at that. Why are we interested? That's another option I'd take. Right, I'm going to go through this. Now. Like, and by the way, the link's in the chat. If you want to come on, do free and have your say. Do say so. If you think I'm if you think I'm overreacting and I'm talking rubbish, then by all means. Yeah, DWTT says Steve. By the way, Gary, it's Stephen. Please, remember that it's Stephen. I'm very particular about that. So, Let's have a look. I don't think Frankie de Jong's going to go to Man United, to be honest. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll get him. Leeds are set to sign Tyrone van RB Leipzig. I'm not too sure about him. I haven't seen him play. Right, let me have a look. Angel Di Maria to Juventus. Wow. On a free move. And Paul Pogba to be in Turin on Saturday. Wow. It's like 2 ex-Man United players are reuniting there. Oh, I can't believe that. Oh my god. Oh, big up, Manny.
Yeah, listen, let me apologise. I mean, it is prone to, just shutting off.
Don't worry, man. I just think it's Arteta trying to destroy us.
He works in mysterious ways. And the problem is when it goes off, everything goes off at a time. We're going to try and solve that problem. Now, I think we're going to speak a little bit more about Bellerin in our later show tonight. But I agree, it is disgraceful that he was given the captaincy because he said he wanted to leave. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. One thing we might want to mention is talking a bit more about some Premiership clubs. Nottingham Forest have made a few transfers. I think you know that, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think so. One of the news snippets before was that they had secured the services of Dean Henderson on a season-long loan deal. Yeah, and some more developments is that one more development is that they're trying to get Wayne Hennessy to join them. Now, the inference is that with Hennessy joining Forest, he would probably be a backup because Henderson's a lot younger, and with the loan move, they've also inserted an option to buy him. And Henderson needs some luck because that poor fella was, of course, cursed by injuries. Injuries cost him his chance of, staying with the Euro 2021 squad. And, of course, with that injury, he wasn't able to challenge De Gea for the starting position, so some first-team football could do him good. For Hennessy to go to Forest, it wouldn't really make sense for me because he's made it clear that he wants first-team football. He's worked his backside off. I mean, he was fortunate as well with Danny Ward getting injured.
Yeah, now, I'm just saying, I can see where you get it is coming from. Is if you're buying Dean Henderson, right? You can't accommodate Hennessy as well. You can't because they both want first team football. And it's only going to one person.
Agreed.
So,
of course, yeah. The problem is that Hennessy might not be guaranteed first team football at Burnley. So if you have to choose between a Premiership club and a Championship club, you might as well take the Premiership option. But I want to see Hennessy getting some more options because he needs first team football. He's won back his spot as Wales' number one with that amazing performance against the Ukraine, and he will definitely want to keep playing to make sure that he keeps that position ahead of Danny Ward at Leicester. I don't see Ward getting game time ahead of Schmeichel anyway.
Wales are in the World Cup, aren't they?
They are. They qualified after beating the Ukraine, and they will, in fact, be in England's group, along with the US and Iran.
So they won't last long?
Yeah. What do you say?
So they won't last long?
Who?
Wales.
I'm not too sure about that. I mean, the match with England will be epic.
I'm bantering.
I definitely see them beating the US with or without Matt Turner in goal. And Iran will give them a fight. But, if you're coming up against a team which has Bale and Ramsey and a few others, I'm sorry, but I see Wales going through to the second stage. They will. They've done it at the Euros. They'll the World Cup.
I'll get second.
Yeah.
Right. I'll just bantering. But
exactly. And Barcelona have said De Jong is not for sale.
No. I know if they don't have any other choice. If they don't have a choice, then they have to get rid of him.
Agreed.
That's what they said.
Agreed, because here's the thing. I mean, I know that Aubameyang joined Barcelona last season in January, so he might have his salary saved for now. But several of these other players who've been there for quite some time, including, of course, the likes of Piqué and Busquets, will have to have their salaries reduced a little bit, or maybe even more, to try to make sure that they can have some hope of balancing their books. So it'll be interesting to see how Barcelona do. They still have enough decent players to make a fist of it in the Liga, and it'll be interesting to see how the Champions.
I'm going to start calling Barcelona balance owner. Like, they're always having to balance their books every transfer window.
Agreed. But then take a look. That all segues back into our issue, because if you analyse all the transfers that we've done in this window, the summer window, we've actually lost a lot more money on transfers than we've made, and that's really awful. I remember saying earlier on that we used to be a club that was prudent with our financial activity. That's all gone out the window now. And when you have a situation where you lose a lot of money trying to build something and then it doesn't work out, I don't see us being in danger of being another Leeds United in 2004, as was mentioned sometime earlier in another discussion, but we could be in danger. And who's checking those accounts? Who's really auditing everything? What exactly is going on? I mean, I have a finance degree at master's level. I'm pretty certain I could do a better job at budgeting that whole thing than they can. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like, how can you're trying to balance the books every year, and then you're trying to make transfers to buy, like they were trying to buy, they're still chasing Lewandowski. How can you afford to get Lewandowski if you're trying to balance your books? It doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense at all, mate. And when you take a look at what happened to Marseille when they
Unless there's UEFA corruption.
That could be. Gary, no, that's a wind up. Don't you try and wind us up.
No, mate, you're mate.
No. And as I was saying, if you take a look at what happened to Marseille in the early 90s when they were also thrown out owing to some match fixing issues, they also had to rebuild using some free transfers. I think the Irish international Tony Cascarino went there among a few others. So they had to rebuild. And that's sort of how you rebuild. You don't still harbour these delusions of being able to attract the best simply because of your name recognition. I mean, Marseille don't really have that much name recognition, but still, you've got to be prudent with what you do. It's as simple as that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like with Man United, like they've got the name and status, but they're not prudent with the way they do business, so and the way they run their club. So like it's like with any business. If the manager's shit, then your performance is going to be shit.
Oh yeah,
it's simple, and that's both and that's not just on the pitch; that's off the pitch. United are going after Ericsson. That's who we should be going after. Yeah, that could be another player we miss out on. So that'd be 8.
I'm pretty certain that given his Tottenham
Manny, I'm running out of fingers here. Like, I'm running out of fingers. Like, you're gonna have I'm gonna have to hold up 10 at one point, and you're gonna have to hold up the other 2.
I've got 2 hands of my own. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. We've got 20. Like, we might get away with like 20. Maybe.
Yeah, and going back to Ericsson, I think United will, as I was about to say, definitely make sure that they, treat him well. Don't give him too many minutes. Don't exert him, because if his heart gives out again, God forbid it doesn't.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to. Do you know what? I'm gonna have to do an Arsenal gossip column just to explain to everyone, right, or explain these delusional fans what a youth project is. What a youth project is, right? A youth project, yes, you use young players. You bring young players through the academy. You bring them into the first team, right? You make them part of your first team selection, right? But, then there's a big but. Every team that has brought youngsters through, including Matt Busby's team, George Graham's team of 89, 92, the class of 92, right? Any young team you bring through, needs like the reason, and this is also why when we tried to rebuild our squad after 2004 with a young side, it didn't work. You need a spine of experience and quality. You need experienced quality players that have been in the game, know the league, know how to play the system, know how to operate, know how to pick up players when they're on the floor and be a leader, right? As well as being one of the best players on the pitch, right? So that is, but before we go anywhere, that excludes Granit Xhaka, right? That excludes El Nini, that excludes like pretty much every experienced player we've got, because every experienced player we've got is shit, right? So as much as you want to bring young players through, fine. You want to do it down a youth project route, great. But you have to bring in this summer, and I've said it from time. They need this summer to go out and bring in some young, just a couple of years over what you really want them to be as a youth project. So 26, 27, right? And you want them to be top quality, experienced players that are leaders on the pitch, right? So that way, and it's in the toughest games, you've got the mentality on the pitch, because that's what lost us top four. Our mentality as a young side went off, and then what did our experienced players do? AKA Granit Xhaka, he went and slagged off the whole fucking team, right? Yet most of the players that didn't turn up at that game have done more in their time at Arsenal than Xhaka's done since he first turned up in the club, right? So the fact that he had a cheek to have a go at him was a disgrace, right? And that is not what is experienced top quality player that we need. We need someone that could be a leader on the pitch and pick them up during a game, not run and hide, which is what Granit Xhaka does every fucking time, right? So, or when it doesn't feel like it, he'll just get himself sent off, right? So, that's what a youth project's about, right? Simple as that. You cannot do it without having experience in your side. It's a fact. It's not fucking by FIFA where you could just buy all the young players that are top quality and just blast through the league, right? It don't work like that. Sorry, doesn't work like that. And if you can't get your head around that, you really need to go learn football. You really do, right? Because every young squad has had experienced players in it. Simple as that. So Tillemans, we should be going after. Rafinha, we should be going after, right? Not Vieira, right? Not like Martinez. Sorry, like the only experienced player we've brought in so far is Jesus, and I don't even think he's going to be that good because he hasn't scored over 20 goals in a season. Hardly. No. So there you go. And every experienced player that we've been linked to, you've started some excuse saying, "Oh, he's not quite right. His stats aren't good." Calvin Phillips, you'll find Arsenal fans in a minute that right now you'll go on Twitter and you'll find Arsenal fans comparing stats that mean fuck all. They'll mean fuck all in the presence of the game, right? And in the context of the game. Not to mention Calvin Phillips is playing for a fucking lead side, right? That's been fighting at the bottom relegation. This is what I just said earlier, right? So you have to bear that in mind. They're not playing the similar teams, right? So they're going to have difference. Of course, Calvin Phillips' stats are going to be lower, but they're going to use that against him, saying, "Oh, he's shit. He's not as good as Granit Xhaka. He's shit." Yeah, really, it's more of a fucking lead. It was more of a lead in the Euros than Granit Xhaka was. Where was he for his fucking team? Nowhere. Where is he for his country? Nowhere. Right? So
I think he had one good game, and that was it. He had one good game, and that was it.
Yeah, when Calvin Phillips bossed that whole freaking tournament in the midfield. So don't, like, and you're all singing his praises when you're supporting England, but now you're saying he's shit because
ridiculous.
because you can't accept that's another player we've missed. And that's what they do every single time we miss out on a player. They say, "Oh, we weren't really in for him," or "He's shit."
The same sour grapes over and over again. I'm telling you, Stephen, these people need an antacid stat.
Mate, these people need to go out and learn football. Either that or start talk, mate, that or seriously talk to yourself in the mirror about, do I actually know what this sport's about?
You bet.
Honestly. Like, I don't mind, but by the way, I don't mind having a debate with him because I know I'd slaughter him. I'd tear him apart. Because balance the owner is a banger of a phrase. I just thought that myself, so there you go. We're gonna say balance the owner every time for Barcelona.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Right?
Good one.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I want proven players right now, not players who develop in 5 years' time. Yep. At the end of the day, you should try and get the best players possible to try and win as sure as possible. To do that, then worry about the development you can. Exactly. Right? Arsenal have Xhaka. There's no. Stop trying to wind me up. The day Arsenal start challenging or competing for a title, that's when I will be happy, mate. By the time we start challenging that, I'm gonna be having grandkids. Right? I'll be on my deathbed. Right? I'm telling you, the way this club's going, don't even buy this idea that the current team are young and developing. At the end of the day, most of them are in their 20s, and the age you should be hitting your peak, and the age you should be hitting your peak. Actually, to be fair, most of them are 3-4 years under their peak. The peak time is around about 27 to 32. So they're about 3-4 years under that at the minute. Right? Some of them 5 years under that. So I don't quite agree with that one. But there you go. Everyone has their own opinion. Peak isn't low 20s. Saka's, yeah. Bayern had a 22 bench. He peaked later. Yeah, that is a point. I've seen better 23-year-olds. Yeah. I get that with Ben White and Odegaard and Nketiah. Yeah. Right. I get that, but right, there you go. Who? They're obviously having a debate between themselves. Do you think Tini should go in your 20s? When you do you think Tini should go? That's a good point.
You know, that also reminds me of another snippet. He was mentioned as a possible shock target for Manchester City. Short answer, no, because I really don't think we've seen the best of him. I mean, we've seen we've seen a lot of how terrific he can be. The only problem is injuries have taken their toll on him. I really would like to give him maybe one more season to sort of recover and really get back into the swing of things. But if in that one season he gets injured again, then maybe it would be time to let him leave. And the tragedy, more the tragedy, really, because we've seen him play for Arsenal. He's been outstanding in terms of the drive he's led to the team. He's done well for Scotland as well. So in theory, he'd be a real asset. It's the injury curse that struck him, and I really can't understand for the life of me, Stephen, why players come to Arsenal and end up getting injured all too often. I mean, is it the way we train them? Is it our training routine regimens? Is it just that the coaching is simply out of order? This has happened under Wenger too many times as well. Ridiculous.
No one's investigated it. I think Tierney's been amplified by the way he's played as well. Right?
Yep.
That's why I worry about Saka. Right? Because this manager's got no squad management. Right? So when he gets Tierney fit, he'll play him until he's hit oblivion.
More's the pity that we don't even have a proper, proper cover for left back. We've got Tavares, whom we might be sending out on loan. We could have gotten Hickey. That's made us sicky, as I've said. And then what? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Just awful.
Mate, it's this club in general. Well, What do we expect? What do we expect? Do we expect anything different? No.
And one thing I can say about the transfer business, you've heard of the phrase penny wise, pound foolish, haven't you?
Yep.
Well, we didn't spend a single penny in January because we wanted to trim the wage bill. But if we had spent maybe a fraction of the money we've spent now in terms for getting a decent midfielder, we could have had Guimaraes, for instance, coming to us. We probably would have won those 2 matches, or at least secured some decent results and secured top 4. Now we don't have to have top 4. We're not even getting the players we want, and we've spent close to $1 million.
$1 billion.
Penny wise, pound foolish. Simple as that.
You mean a billion?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did really go, so I often gets injured. I can understand people saying he wants to go because of that injury status. I get that. But like I said, I still cut him left back. That's why I give him time. If he's going to keep being injured, because I still think it's partly because of the manager as well, then then he's got to go. Not many low 20 leading their teams that are in squads with world class players. Yeah, like you're going to get someone who's in the low. Those people are special talents. They're just special talents, and you don't find a lot of them. You only find a few. That's why they're special. So yeah, but look. Anyway, in terms of the transfer business, as far as much as we can give at the minute, there's not much else other than that. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. So thanks everyone that's turned up in the chat as usual. I'm gonna shout out Saeed. So I've got to shout out Saeed, James, Connor. Who else I've got to shout out? Bargav. I can't remember. There's someone else as well. I can't remember it. All the members and every other member. But I haven't shouted out. I really do apologise, but I'll get the
Myron Jones, Gary, Craig,
but all
Joanne.
Big up to everyone. Waking up was like it was like a cheap tease. Yeah, get you that, mate. It's kind of big up yourself. So you just joined us right at the end. We're just about to head off. And so, but half of these are never going to be world class. Mate, Julian. If I'm sorry, I've got Julian. To be fair, if he's going to say he's the next Bergkamp, right, then he needs to start getting a grip, because there's never going to be another Bergkamp. You only get one Bergkamp.
I wish you wouldn't speak of Julian. I mean, I really don't want to discuss him. Uncle Fester, if you will.
Oh, mate, I'll give. Do you want the bad news?
Give it to me.
Do you want the bad news?
Give it to me.
He said he would come on my channel. That's going to be an interesting debate, isn't it?
All I will say is you know what to do. You know what to do.
Oh, I know what to do. I'm going to prepare for that one. We'll do the facts.
Yeah.
The facts and my shirt.
Yeah. Come prepared.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
I'm coming.
Do it with it.
Oh, for I just buried. Like I said, how do I know what? Anything you say now? How can I believe what you're saying is true? Because you said you'd be turning Arteta out at the end of the season, right? If you don't make top 4, and now you've gone back on it. So how do I know what you're saying now is going to be truth? Anything you say now, I could believe is a lie, because you'll change it 5 minutes later if it doesn't go the way that if it doesn't work for Arteta, you'll just easily go against that opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do I know what you're saying is your actual opinion? Oh, damn, mate! I destroyed him. I destroyed him that time. Well, I can't remember what stream that was. There must have been a few streams back.
It was one of Del Boy's streams. I remember. I mean,
No. I think he came on mine, didn't he? Or was it on Del Boy's?
It was Del Boy's, because I remember.
Oh, it's Del Boy, yeah.
I remember trying to come in, but you pretty much had him on the ropes, and I did come in a little bit, but that was your show. I think you kind of got to him. You got to him in a way. You got to him. You really did.
Oh yeah, mate. He had no answer for it. I'm sorry. I don't usually roast people like that. I'm usually shit at doing that, but there you go. Yeah, but we don't call Ben White here. Ben White, we call him Ben Shite.
Get Saliba back ASAP. You know,
Yep.
what hurts me a great deal is that number 4 jersey belonged to Saliba. It was taken away from him and given to Ben White. So Arteta's got a lot of work to do to try to talk Saliba into staying.
Well, to be fair, like it belongs to Vieira before anyone owns that shirt. To be fair, yeah, even if like Saliba had that shirt originally, he's still got to earn it first. I know he's been doing great in the French league, but if he proves it in the Premier League, with Arsenal, then yeah, by all means, he deserves the shirt.
He can't be worse than Ben Shite.
Oh no! I'll get with Ben with Saliba, you've got half a chance he'd actually do it. Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Tomiyasu has one good game, worthless the next. Ketty isn't good enough. With Tommy, half of the players not good enough. With Tomiyasu, I go back and forth. I mean, I'd like to think that when it comes to scouting certain players who have
decent as a right back, but he's just not good going forward.
Yeah. I mean, you want your right back to be able to sort of have that.
So it's like, yeah, if you want to play Cedric, you've got to sort of play free at the back, really, right, and play wing backs. If you want to play the standard 4 at the back, you're gonna have to use Tomiyasu. Right, that's the way I see it. So, but anyway, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna be talking more about Arsenal in particular at 7 p.m. because we got Arsenal gossip column for then.
We could have had Aaron's suspense possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna limp off to the kitchen at some point and like make dinner, like with a leg that's actually shot. Yeah, trust me. My mum's like, because it was really swollen like last Friday. Like she's now seen it and it's now not swollen at all. She's like, "Oh, it looks so much better," and I'm standing up and it's actually in agony. I said, "I don't give a fuck how it looks. Like it fucking hurts." Like, I'd rather it the other way around. I'd rather it look like an absolute genital. I'd rather it look like a genital wart. Right, as long as it's like, you know what I mean. I'd rather it look like that. Right, as long as it's not bloody hurting, I don't care.
Mate, let me tell you, when you get that thing in your legs, it hurts like billion. I've been there. My dad's been there. We've all had it.
Yeah, and I can feel where it is as well. I can feel exactly where it is. So it's like unlike before, it's like on the. I've had one in the groin before. It's really deep. This one's like right on the surface. So I'm like, can't they just get a needle and just suck it out or something? You know what I mean? They just knock us out on some drugs and then just like suck it out. It'd be literally half an hour job.
I get
that. You know what I mean? And then that'll be it. My pain will be gone. But anyway, yeah. Before I make anyone squealish, we are back at 7 p.m. with the Arsenal gossip column. So make sure you tune into that. If I'm okay for that, I will be also, if I'm okay, later on after that, I'll be doing the paddock gossip column on SFeatleyTV as well. So make sure you check that out as well. Big up the Static. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And so I had to come right at the end, but yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up. But make sure to hit the like button, guys. Hit the share button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit also the notification bell so you know when we go live. Or when I ever upload a video or post. Do become a member of the channel for as little as $1.99. It's a small donation to Children's Liver Disease, which makes all the difference in the world. So please go and do that right now. But until then, stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you soon.